You are listening to Down Home. Some of us are blessed to find lifelong friends. I mean the type of friendships where you might not see or hear from the person in weeks or months, but when you finally meet up with them, the weeks or months melt away and it's like you spoke to them yesterday. In this episode, Jay and I talked to Chad Burns and Chris Thomas about how our friendship started over 30 years ago. And surprisingly, even though Jay and I are black and Chad and Chris are white, we've never had a serious discussion about race until now. Welcome to Down Home, the Nova Scotian experience from two black men. I'm Derek Wise, and as always, we have Jay Jones.
What's happening, y'all?
In this episode, we got like a back in the day episodes with two really good friends that we came up with. We have Chris Thomas. What's up, Chris?
What's up, Dave? Been a long time.
Yeah, I know, huh?
What's up, Chris?
Jay Jones.
We also have Chad Burns.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, Chadwick?
Good to see my friends.
Yeah,
indeed,
man.
Indeed.
So we'll explain it throughout the podcast, but we grew really tight through high school. Chad, from your recollection, how did we meet, man?
Yeah, from my recollection. So, man, high school was a blur, really. But I mean, I remember. Listen, when we first started hanging out, it was grade 10. Me and Jay, we grew up. We were tight way back, like when we were like 5, 6 years old, right?
Yeah.
And we decided we were going to go to QEH, and everybody else was going to JL. And we were like, we're going to buck the system. We're going to go to downtown. We're going to go to
Halifax West too.
And Halifax West, that's right.
Yeah.
So we went to QE, and I think just you guys had a connection from going to church or something, and you guys met first.
Yeah.
And I think we were just sitting in the class and just laughing all the time and just always having a good time, and it just seemed to click. And it's just. It was just easy to be friends because we were all sarcastic. We were really different people, but I think we all had some things in common. So we clicked pretty early on, and then I think it was just from there. It grew pretty tight, as you said. So
yeah. So
that's what I remember.
That's what you remember.
Into that.
So one of those classes was Tanner's gym class. So that's it. And Chris was in that one. Chris, what are your memories of Tanner's gym class, man?
Mike Tanner. Yeah, he was a legend at QE.
Yeah.
Well, so that's where you and I met.
Yeah.
And then Chad and I sat together or side by side in French class.
Oh, really? I didn't know that, man.
Yeah. I remember French class, yeah.
What was her name? Miss, Lanigan or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I remember she hounded me for like the last 4 months of school for a note for missing one class. But Chad sat beside me, and we were making plans to go somewhere in French class, not paying attention to French class. And Chad said, I don't know, it was a party or something. And Chad said, well, do you mind if my buddy Jason comes with us? I said, no, whatever. And it turned out that maybe a couple of weeks before that, I'd already met Jason at another party after I got my sneakers back.
Yeah, I stole your sneakers at a party. I remember that, man. I remember that day vividly. You were like, who got my sneakers on? And then you were yelling at me, and I was like, oh, sorry, man. They were there.
I'm just glad you didn't have any warts.
No.
Oh my God.
And after that, it's gone on for 30 years plus after that, and we've all been pretty close ever since.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember gym class too. We always used to sit around in gym class, and Tanner would make us do just stupid things, and I remember at lunchtime. You guys remember at lunchtime we would go in the gym at lunchtime, and everybody would hang out, and there'd be, you're playing 1-on-1 or whatever. I remember playing. Was his name Daniel? I think. And
Daniel Williams. Yeah.
Yeah, Daniel Williams.
Yeah. There was a lot of smack talk going on back in the day, and we decided we were going to go head to head, and we had a good game. He ended up beating me, but
half the school was there, man. From what I remember, oh my goodness.
Chad, we actually won in QE. We actually ended up winning, I think, with Tanya Fader and maybe Chris McAndrew. We ended up winning the 3-on-3 intramural basketball one year.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't even remember that, man.
Yeah, no, I remember. And the next year we made to the final, but one of the got with Tanya Fader and some other guy who used to live in a van. He went to school at QE, but he lived in a Volkswagen van. Yeah, I can't remember his name. Yeah, man.
He was before his time or after his time.
Well, either way, he couldn't make it to the game, so we had to forfeit. But that was 2 years in a row. But anyway, that was my Tanner story.
Tanner, I remember Tanner's gym class as well, man. But
you had him for football too, D?
Yeah, I had him for football as well. So it was kind of, as a rookie, I had no choice but to take his class. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had all of his rookies take his gym class as well. Yeah, that was Tanner's class. And Bobby D, I don't know if you remember, Chad, man, like he was teaching economics. And he didn't know he was a phys ed guy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So he didn't know anything about it. And because I've gone into the industry, I think back and dude was reading right from the textbook, man.
Oh my goodness. Was he ever?
He must have been like a fill-in or something. Like they just needed somebody for that class, and I don't know.
I just think because he was so attached to basketball, that was his thing, and then they put him in kept him busy. But man, oh man, straight from the textbook. Yeah.
Yeah. And we all we did was sit in the back of the class and literally just laugh.
Yeah. And he always used to he always used to come up to me and he'd go, Derek, Jason wasn't in class today.
I remember that.
It was like, what the heck are you talking about? I'm Jason, and then me and Derek learned that we could cover for each other, right?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he definitely, that was hilarious all the time.
Yeah, there was some characters in that class. Do you guys remember Mars?
Yeah.
Mars. You don't remember?
Melanie?
I don't even. Yeah, Melanie.
Melanie. Yeah. Marcus. Oh man. Yeah.
And
didn't she follow in your footsteps, Chris? I think.
Yeah,
but
she lives in my subdivision too. Actually.
Oh, really?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. She's on the force. Yeah.
Yeah. So our kids were playing basketball together last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Does she remember everybody or no, man?
Oh yes, she remembers everybody.
I like Melanie. She was good.
No, yeah, they were all cool, man.
Yeah, she was nice. Yeah.
They were all cool.
Yeah. Yeah, those were good times.
They were.
Now, fellas, like me and Dee have been doing this podcast. We've been talking to a lot of different people, some friends. We talked to Lindsay Sharp. You guys both.
Oh yeah, we went to high school with Lindsay.
Yeah, for sure.
Lunchtime at Lindsay.
Yeah, in his backyard, and no one was home. Yeah, we were something else. But so taking us back to high school, we were able to sort of float in different social groups. It was really interesting. You know what I mean?
It was unique, in that way that we would do float around in different friendships, and we had our own thing, but there was always other groups that we would kind of go around with, no problem.
Yeah, that was the most amazing thing. Like, but I wonder, why do you think we became so tight? And did you too, or get any flack for having, two black friends? Chris, can I ask you that question, man?
Yeah, no, I don't remember anybody like saying anything or having a hard time about anything. Like, I mean, everybody, once they got to know Jay Jones, I mean, he was a one-man comedy show.
Yeah.
And I don't recall anybody like a racial word or a bad word even about Jay Jones. And I mean, the four of us for 3 years were together most of the time. And like you say, we did have our other friendships coming into high school, but the four of us bonded quite closely and quite quickly.
Mhm.
And, you know, we had other people coming and going, but you know, the four of us have always been close and stayed close. I don't remember anybody giving us a hard time. Like, I don't remember, I mean, I do remember there were lots of cliques and groups and all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like, as far as hanging out with, you know, two black guys, no, like, I ran track, and before coming to QE, like, I ran track with David Coyote
Mm.
and Trace Williams.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, so I knew them coming in, and we all just hung out together. It was a nothing. It was just a handful of young guys, and they made friends. And
Yeah.
I think I would echo that too. I didn't see a lot of it, but I don't think people would try it with us. You know, outside of, like, if we weren't hanging out, I don't think people would try because they knew we were so tight, so we wouldn't have it. I think that's probably one part of it. But I think a bigger part of it is the timing. You know, back then it's, you know, I think racists kind of hide in the shadows a bit, and they weren't comfortable in saying it in person.
Yeah.
Things have changed a lot from then till now, though. So back then you wouldn't see it as much, but you know, me and Chris aren't black, so we didn't witness it like you guys would, or you know, maybe some other people would, like my son or my wife or whatever. And things have changed, and you know, in the U.S. in the last few years, you know, people that judge people that are racist or whatever, and it's not just blacks, it's Asians, whoever. I think they felt more comfortable to be racist because they had support from the government side. And anyway, not to get into too deep with that, but
no, man, that's good.
That's what I would say. Back then, it just things were easier. I just found, and I think things are more complicated now. And I think probably there used to be a lot of racists, and now you just see them a lot more often.
Yeah. I think it was probably always there.
Yeah.
But now, like Chad said, Chad and I had different experiences, so it was probably there. We weren't picking up on it, right? I mean, the podcasts I've heard you guys talk about, and your mothers and everybody else, you know, that stuff was there, but that's not stuff Chad and I were exposed to, and not an environment that we were in, you know, as young kids growing up and then teenagers. But yeah, certainly, you know, as time's gone on and you get a little bit of knowledge of what's going on around you, and you see what has been there.
Yeah, I got to tell you, from my end, I got some back then. I got shit from guys that I grew up with in the North End.
Really?
Oh yeah, man. I won't name names here.
Guys.
No, there's black people from the North End that I grew up with.
Right.
I got once I got to QE, like even just going to class, because I was going to class. I would, yeah. You remember the hallway down by the gym in QE, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like all the brothers used to hang out there.
Yeah, I remember.
So I'll say, hey, what's up? And they'll get, where are you going? I'm going to class. And they'll be go, oh, too good to hang out with. So I got that. And I got flack directly from a couple of guys in the North End saying, you know, oh, you're too busy hanging out with this person and that person. And it's whatever. But the thing is, like you guys said, we floated in amongst different groups. And especially I did too, because I had that football crowd as well. But I never stayed in there either, right? But the common link was you guys, though, right?
Yeah.
It was, man.
And you know what? I mean, when Chris was just talking just a minute ago, it brought up a memory actually from our childhood, Jay. And I think, you know, you would hear things from time to time. Like we had in one of our in Cowie Hill. Remember Cowie Hill?
Yeah.
We had an Asian guy, and he was there was always a derogatory term used for him. I don't know if you remember him. He used to live on top of the hill, that apartment building.
Was it Dai Win?
I don't know if it was him, but everybody called him a derogatory name. And back then, I don't think it was, something where it was brought to everybody's attention. Like you can't say that. Like that's not right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was okay with it or not. He probably wasn't, right? But I think maybe he was just trying to fit in, and he didn't want to ruffle any feathers. So
Yeah.
there are times that you would see some things happening, and back then, I think maybe you just never thought about it as much as you do now.
Yeah. Well, I remember back in elementary school, it happened a lot more. I have memories of it happening a lot more, and I always wondered why that was. And I thought to myself, at that particular time, there weren't too many black families in Klein Heights and Cowie Hill. We were one of two in Klein Heights as it was.
Yeah.
The Joneses and the Marsmans, and there might have been the Njukus, and the spattering of black families within the neighborhood that went to our school, right? But I do remember it being called out quite a bit, the N-word and stuff like that. It's almost as if people didn't know what they were using, because we were such in a time of coming out of the generation where it was really something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And our generation, like in my mother's time, so when we came out of our generation, it was there, but then it subsided as we all became friends and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but I did see it quite a bit, and I even got chased home just because, but. So I remember those traumatic things, but
Right.
I learned to adapt within that, and actually becoming, we've been friends since we were 5 years old, and you became, and you kind of always had my back, so that was a thing as well, in some instances. Yeah.
And you know what? I think, sometimes I think people that are racist they're comfortable in front of other white people, so they'll say things. And back then, I would say, maybe some people would, let that go, and some people wouldn't. And I think back then, I was not good at picking people up on stuff like that, because we would all hear things from time to time, and you would say, "Oh, like you shouldn't say that." Nowadays, I think for me, it's completely different. And nowadays, when somebody says something that's inappropriate, I'm like, "Why are you saying that?" I'm going to question them. I'm going to put them on the spot and make them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
And I think
as we get older, and sorry, go ahead, Chad.
No, I was just saying, my thing these days is I want to make people feel uncomfortable when they do that, no matter who they're trying to put down or
who they're trying to impress on the other side.
Yeah.
Like growing up,
back then it was different back then. I think now it's a lot more evident. And I think it's better now because you can at least see them, and they're comfortable in being who they are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at least and because the ones that are silent and they don't show it, then it's hard to decipher where they stand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, from time to time, you would hear things, and you'd hear the N-word when we were younger. And you knew it was derogatory, and you knew it was meant to put somebody down. But even growing up through high school, you didn't understand, or I didn't understand, how much hate and hurt in the decades, generations of hatred and belittlement and everything else that went along. Like, I knew it was a derogatory word, and it was meant to put people down. But, as time progresses, we learn more. It's more out there. I've had very frank and in-depth conversations with a couple of guys that I work with about it. And you get a better understanding. And, it's like we said, the more we talk, we have the uncomfortable conversations, everybody learns from it.
Yeah, true. We had an interview with Gary Beals, and he said he said growth comes along with those uncomfortable conversations, right? Whether it be with family or, work friends or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very true, Chris. Very true, man.
Yeah. Chad, one other question, and it stems with what we were actually just talking about. Like, have you found what kind of challenges have you found being like the parent of biracial children? I mean, you must, it's different than when we were coming up. But what do you see now from that perspective? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, it's a lot different now, right? Because before I'd be sheltered from it a little bit. Obviously, now having a visibly black son, non-visibly black daughter, and a black wife, you hear from them what happens. And so there's been instances at school and different levels of school where Ben's come home and, he said like, well, this kid won't play with me. And we would say, well, what's going on? And he said, well, your skin is the wrong color. I can't play with you. And so those are some of the things that he would experience growing up, going in stores and being followed all the time. Like you would see a lot of that. And my wife, as you guys would know, she would say things like that too. So it's, my daughter more looks like me, so she doesn't get it as much, but I think it's even there too, because I can see that she's probably coming from a biracial family, I would say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different now. I have a different perspective, and I think I've grown as an individual over the years. I've had black friends, but I don't think that, growing up, because we were always jovial and we weren't getting into deep conversations. I mean, me and Jay, like we did that in the past a lot, but
oh yeah, for sure.
Things about race, we didn't talk about a lot growing up.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Because it was just it was just so easy. We were having so much fun, and we had our jobs, and obviously you guys were experiencing things, but I don't know if we got into those kind of conversations, right? So now things have changed for me for sure.
Yeah. But Chris, we were all really tight. Like, just to expand on what Chad's saying there, because we've been hanging out for, like he said, 30 years, and we've had deep conversations about other stuff. But we've never really talked about race, though, man. Not really.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's very true. Actually, that's a very, very good point. Yeah.
Yeah, and with the four of us, race has never been an issue.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Amongst the four of us. Now
we're more like a brotherhood,
Yeah, and I know Halifax is different now than when we were growing up. And I've had these conversations with a couple other friends of mine, both of whom are black. Their wives are white, and they've got young kids coming up, and Chad's going to be right around the corner from this. And they've told me about having to have the talk with their sons. And the first time I heard it, it was totally foreign to me. And I'm like, all right, tell me about it. Well, my son's going to get his driver's license soon, and he's going to have the talk. So, they've explained that to me.
Yeah.
Totally new to me. Like, growing
We've
up,
had that talk
when we were growing, we were growing up, and I think, Chad, you had your license for a little while, and I had my license. Nothing I ever had to think of, and wasn't an experience that we went through. But clearly, it's something that has been a problem for many generations. But like with the four of us, we were just, hey, it's Derek, it's Jay, it's Chad. We were, that wasn't a barrier. It wasn't a wall for any of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think probably because it wasn't an issue for us amongst the four of us, but I don't even recall any incidents where something negative happened when we were together because of either of your guys' skin color.
True.
Like,
yeah, I don't know. I think that there was a couple instances that I remember, one being in New York. Jay, I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I forgot all about that.
With the guy from...
yeah, he thought you had a hoodie on that looked like the Bears.
Yeah.
We were in New York. and
Believe in the
said some
Giants
stuff
game.
and threw some
Yeah.
beer at you and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
Um,
it was like veiled racism through the.
It wasn't veiled. He yelled out the N word at you, man.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if I
Yeah.
heard that. I was trying to really get out of there, man, because I was like, obviously we didn't
weren't
want to
in
be in
good
that
ground.
situation. Yeah, we like
Yeah.
maybe in the past we had some where we stand up for each other, but not in that sort of situation. But
we had a lot of situations that we avoided, which, I think we're lucky. And I think I talked to Derek about this. We're lucky that we escaped a lot of situations growing up.
No, let's clarify that. Jay got us into a lot of situations that we were lucky to get out of.
Yeah, no, I'll
On
take one for the team for sure. Yeah.
On that note, I remember, Jay, and this probably happened more than once, but I remember walking home from downtown to Spryfield separately
Yeah.
because I was pissed at you for getting in a fight, and I had to go back you up.
Yeah.
And man, it happened quite a bit. We were just downtown, and we were just free, like we didn't want to take anything from anybody.
Yeah.
So we were feeling good, like any 19, 20-year-olds would.
But I honestly admit, not to put a damper on the situation, I did start a lot of confrontations, and I didn't know it until sort of later on in life. Honestly, that I was very, very angry. You know what I mean? I was always very good at suppressing stuff and covering up in comedy, and holding my ground. But I think in that particular time and space, it came out in that way. So I'm sorry about that, fellas, but I'm glad you were there. I'm glad you were there.
It was more funny because we would talk about it afterwards, and going to, and I remember one instance with Derek, like running around the city, going in Pizza Corner, and you remember that?
Yes. All right, we might as well tell the whole story, man. There was we were leaving. Was it the Dome?
Jerry's Pub.
There was and a gentleman was being detained on the ground, and me and my 19-year-old self decided to mouth off, like, what you gotta do? And the officer looked up at me and said, "You're skating on thin ice, son." And I said, "Yeah, I'll show you skating." And he went, "What?" And then I took off. Oh man, I took off and I went around the corner, and it was that pizza shop that was just a little bit.
It was called Donair Plus.
Donair Plus.
Yeah.
So I went in there and I did the thing where I pretended to be waiting in line.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that because we went in there.
I know the officer came down, and he was a little dude too. So. And he didn't say a word. He started to try and cuff me, and I had a hold of the counter, and finally I said, "Hey, what? Tell me what the problem is." He said, "Okay, drunk and disorderly." I said, "All right." So I put my hands. He's taking me downtown to the drunk tech, and I say to him, "Officer, I gotta commend you. These cuffs are nice and tight, man."
Yeah, I remember that.
So I had him laughing in the cruiser, right? And by the time we got to the drunk tank, cuffs were off, and he was like, "All right." He said to me, "Listen, Derek, I don't want to throw you in there. You don't belong in there. You call somebody to come pick you up, and you're good, right?" So I called my mom, and she came and picked me up, man. But so I know people that have gone into the drunk tank, but no, that was the closest I ever got.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm so, I'm honestly
get away a couple times.
Yeah, that is so crazy. Because man, I should have had a bed in the drunk tank. Man, avoided so much stuff. You're so right.
I know, seriously.
We did.
Good times.
But
we were just fun-loving people.
Place back then, though, it was. It's not like now. It's now if you get in a scuffle, you got to be worried. I think back then it was, fist fights, whatever. But we didn't worry so much. I think the world has changed a lot.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Chris?
There's a lot more people carrying downtown now. And,
shoot.
I mean, you see it, right?
That's so scary.
A lot more shootings, stabbings.
Do they have metal detectors in bars now, Chris?
They used to.
Wow.
I don't know. The Dome was doing it. The Palace, I think, were doing it till they changed to the sports bar.
The Palace.
The Palace, yeah.
The Palace.
That's another episode for Jay. But anyway,
No, that you're talking Derek for that one.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's Derek's favorite spot.
oh,
Yeah.
come on now, man.
Just like my favorite spot was Kokomo's.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, me and Dee hung out at
Kokomo's.
was
What are
it
you guys
Kokomo?
up to tonight?
Was it Kokomo?
What are you guys up to tonight?
Kokomo's.
We're going to Kokomo's, man. Oh man, I can't go in there.
I'm
Yeah,
not
all
allowed
right.
there anymore.
Talk to you later. I was banned. Yeah,
I remember that.
yeah. And
But
all,
my-
and all I was,
I outdid you though, Jay. My band from the Palace was literally Lifetime.
That
Yeah, we-
lasted like 15 years later. That guy
Yeah.
remembered you.
It was
I
literally
know.
I
Lifetime.
remember that.
Do you
I
remember?
remember that.
You remember
You
Chris?
thought, nobody will remember me now.
I know. We tried to go in and remember Andre. Andre was the bouncer, and I said,
Yeah.
Chris, I said, Chris, man, it's okay. It's Andre. I know Andre. Andre looked at me and said, "Oh man, well, give it a try. Give it a try."
oh my gosh, that is so insane. Yeah, man.
Oh,
Andre
like,
that
McGinnis, yeah.
That was your bachelor party, Chris.
it was too.
Mhm, I
Oh
remember.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was too. So that was
Yeah.
like, what was that like 10 years later?
That was at least 10 years.
Oh,
At least 10 years, something like that.
yeah, it
Lifetime
would've been.
band, man.
Yeah.
Too much. Anyway, what about Bloomfield? What do you guys remember about ball on Sundays for Bloomfield, man?
Oh man.
Kicking your ass.
What?
I remember
told you,
Chad.
man.
Wasn't that Chad where Chad came up with his best line when he threw a pass? And he go, "Saw you was there."
yeah. And
Yeah.
Rhythm crack his hat. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, man.
Hungover ball.
We had a lot of good we had plenty of good times at Bloomfield playing ball. I remember, was it Boxing Day we would have the Wise Challenge?
Yes.
I remember that, man. I missed that. I do.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun playing ball at Bloomfield.
And then
What
we
about
would-
my brother coming to the tennis courts?
Oh my gosh. I gotta say that whole story. Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah.
So Chad's brother would I worked on the tennis courts on the Commons, and that was before they put the automated lights in. So I would be the attendant.
Yeah.
So I'd collect money and mark times off and stuff like
I
that.
remember that.
Yeah. And and Chad's brother used to come by and go, "You know who I am?" I go, "Yeah." And you just walk by me. And I'll go, but I couldn't do anything because it was Chad's brother.
yeah. It was that Burns charm.
I know. Man.
But you know what, Derek? He never once said, "Hey, I know your buddy at the tennis courts
Oh, no.
who lets me play." He wouldn't say a thing. But
Yeah.
okay.
Too
You should have
much.
picked him up on it though.
Well, I think one time I tried, and after the finished the game, he goes, "Yeah, but I already played, man. I'll get you next time." I remember he said that to me, man. And I know you can hear Ronnie saying that too.
Ronnie Burns.
I know you
I
can hear
see
him
him saying that.
Yeah, I can see that. I'll get you next time.
Yeah, comical, man. And I know we're G-rated, but some of the cheap alcohols we used to drink, man. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Oh.
Jay wrote a song about that one.
Yes. we
Yeah.
did. But the thing
yeah,
is,
me
though,
and Dee did. Yeah, the
the-
golden one.
The golden one.
the years later, though, right? Apple cider is all the rage, but
I know, eh?
Golden
So
Glow.
funny.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, man! What are you guys'
Yeah.
memories about that?
That was like 2.4 liters for $5.
It was $9.90 at your local LC. Because it was like, it was so crazy. I remember one time we drank it, and then the next thing you know, I just woke up. And then I was like, where the hell did the last 4 hours go?
Yeah,
And then me and Derek famously wrote a song about it. What was it? This week isn't payday. Gonna have to wait till next Thursday. Right now, the cash is a little tight, but I need a buzz to feel all right. Yeah,
The golden
That
one.
was it.
the golden
Oh
one. Yeah.
my
Doom,
gosh.
doom, doom, doom. Yeah.
And do you guys remember drinking Swish 20 at Lindsay's house?
Oh,
At Lindsay's house.
yeah.
And his
Yeah.
father joined in, man. I remember.
Yeah, he
Oh.
did.
Yeah.
He had a bottle of tequila with the worm and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trying to get people to drink
Swish.
that.
Swiss 20. That was Derek. That's what you brought into our life. All these like cheap, weird alcohols.
Because
man.
we were poor, man. We were
True,
poor.
I was too.
Derek would have had more money if Ronnie paid
Yeah.
for his tennis time.
True.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
man.
I remember
Sitting
Labatt
on.
Blue. That's an awful beer.
Labatt
but-
Blue. Well, that was the
And they had
the
another one,
skinny
too.
neck. The first skinny
Labatt's-
neck, right?
Labatt's Dry. Remember? Everyone
Labatt's
went through
Dry.
that phase.
Dry
Yeah.
ice.
And
Yeah.
Moosehead Dry. Everyone went through that
And
phase.
I can't believe
I
I drank
remember.
that stuff.
I remember Red Dog.
Red
Oh
Dog.
my God.
Yeah,
You
that
had
was
one of
good,
those
man.
fake license plates on your car, on that old
I think so.
Chevette.
Yeah. The old Chevette, Betsy. That was a badass car, man.
Oh,
You know,
talk
you had-
Oh
about
yeah.
so both of you
I remember
guys.
when me and Chris lived with you.
Yeah, man. Talk
And
about
I remember a hurricane, and I had to get up on your roof and put tarps up in the middle of a huge
Yeah, in the middle of the
storm.
night. And my girlfriend at the time was going nuts. Remember?
Yeah,
But we won't mention names, but you
Yeah.
know,
that was
my
that was
God.
an interesting time too.
yeah. But the funny thing is, I was saying to Dee, I was like, at particular times in my life, I have lived with each one of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. Like Margaret
Oh,
Road.
remember your apartment on Koala Street?
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Chad, do you remember?
oh
The
yeah.
Coach? The coach that was yours?
I remember battling the coach. That was my coach.
Yeah.
No, but we remember we had a party.
Had more than one.
Yeah, but there was one party where people were coming in, we didn't know who they were. And at one point there was like this 12-year-old kid. And it was like
that.
midnight, man. It was like midnight and we had the tunes playing and stuff. And I came out of my bedroom, there was this 12-year-old kid sitting in our living room. And he was going, yeah, that's the jam. And I'm like, who are you, man?
That's the jam.
Oh,
I don't remember that at all.
Oh my gosh.
and
That's hilarious.
What
Jason
about the
Calder
Windjammers?
with
Remember the Windjammers?
the Windjammers.
Oh, the Windjammers, man. those
Barb
were-
Hamilton used to hook us up with baseline seats.
We
man.
used to get great seats.
Oh,
man, that
man.
was those
that
were
was
some
so
good
much
times.
fun. Yeah. They had what was his name? Steve Burt,
Steve
Willie
Burke.
Bland.
Steve Burr, he's still here, I think.
Yeah,
he?
T Smart.
Yeah.
You're thinking of Steve
Oh, Benton? Is it Benton?
Steve Benton, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Milt Newton from
Milt
Kansas.
Newton.
Went
Yeah.
with
He was a good ball player, man.
yeah, and he won the dunk off that one year.
He won the
Remember-
dunk off and the 3-point contest.
Yeah, because remember it was so popular in Halifax that they changed the All-Star game to the Metro Center. You know,
Mhm.
because we were getting the most attendance, and we were pretty much at mostly every game. You know,
Oh, yeah. We were regulars in the baseline there.
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's the other thing too. Like I always loved how we bonded through sports. Obviously, me and Chad, like when we were little, that's what all we did. Like in Cowie Hill, like play at that hoop across the street. You know, with Paul Ryan and all those guys, and
That was right
tennis.
across from my house.
Yeah, we used to play tennis, and then obviously every Sunday meeting up with you guys to play ball. Like that's where we really bonded because we did battle, and then we like after we go upstairs into one of those rooms, watch TV, and get some chicken or something like that. It was either Kenny Rogers Roasters or or KFC.
It was on Kent Road, wasn't it?
Yeah. We got Wade to walk there once. And he was like, man, I didn't know it was that far. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Wade was a good baller too. He had game like D Brown, I always thought, when he was younger, even though he was older at the time.
I know, man.
Yeah.
He was a good athlete back in the day, man. My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stories upon stories, man. You guys.
Randall used to frequent Bloomfield quite a bit.
Yeah, Randall worked there with you, didn't he, D?
He
Oh,
did
he-
work there with me. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He'd wake you up sometimes to start your shift.
I think I only that happened once, and that you were there with me, man. Chris.
You just happened to be there that one time, though.
We decided not to go home, and then I said, no, we were trying to get home, and we were like, and I said, and we were walking, and we were literally walking by Bloomfield, and I had the keys on me. I said, Chris,
I know a good idea.
here, listen, let's go in here, man.
Yeah, I got to work in 3 hours. Because you were down there at Pizza Corner until 4:30.
And we had to get out of the room because church group was going to start.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Do you remember working at the gas station? I think me, Chris, and Jay did.
Yeah.
Derek, you never worked there, though,
Yeah.
right?
No, I didn't work there. I was at Bloomfield.
Yeah, at the Bloomfield, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, those were crazy times too, man.
Yeah.
When we used to hang with Josh, and a lot of people worked there. A lot that we
Yeah.
went to high school with, and
A lot of friends.
Yeah.
And then we started doing landscaping. I remember you guys. I
Not
think
me,
all
I
of
didn't do
you
that.
worked with me in landscaping at one point.
Not
Jay, did
me.
you do it?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't. I know Derek.
I worked for
Lance
one day.
He did it for a day.
I worked for one day, and I said, yeah, you know what? I got 2 other jobs, man. So
You know what? I'll be honest with you. That job, I mean, it was crazy because, I mean, you were moving tandem loads of soil by hand, and there was like
Yeah.
16 of them,
yeah.
and it was it was brutal. Chris,
you guys got in some good shape, though.
Oh, I
man.
remember.
Oh yeah.
I remember.
You guys like
Man,
went
oh,
back
man.
there year after year, and didn't he make you like supervisors and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Ted
Yeah.
was my boss.
Best boss you ever had.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. We had a
Now
lot of
it's
good
like-
times.
You do that at home in your yard or something, and it's like, man, like I need to pay somebody to do this now because it's just I have too many bad memories of doing landscaping, and I'm still
Yeah,
doing.
yeah.
I was doing it last weekend, and I was like, oh, I gotta stop doing this.
Yeah. It was
You know
fun,
that
man.
group chat we started,
Yeah.
the Hawaii 5-0. We need to actually
Start
fulfill
planning.
that
man.
that chat, right? And
Yeah.
we started that a couple years ago, and
Well, we got
you
a
know,
year and a
vote
half, man.
everything. Yeah,
We got a
So,
year and
yeah.
a half. We got to
turn
do it.
50.
Yeah.
You guys are
Not-
getting
not
old,
turning
man.
50,
You
but
guys are getting
turn
old.
50.
We'll do it, man. We'll do it.
We'll do it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Definitely
Maui.
will go away. Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Good.
anything else floating across your minds about back in the day before we wrap up, man?
We're keeping it G-rated, right?
That's all. That's all. The
Yes,
G-rated
man.
stories.
G-rated.
Yeah, we'll keep it G-rated. Yeah.
All right. Well, you know,
Ain't nothing but a
it's
G thing.
me and Jay were talking about having you guys on to just talk about the old days and shoot the shit basically, man. I'm glad you guys were able to do it.
Oh, thanks, man.
Awesome, man.
I'm
Thanks,
glad to be
Brad.
invited.
Chad, like, you and I, man, brothers for life, no question.
Yeah.
You know that. Of course, Chris, so many good times. You living at my place, always having good conversations and, always having my back. You all have. And Derek, of course. And I'm glad we can continue our friendship here. And I'm glad you guys can continue your friendship there. And I'm glad we can continue our friendship now and look back at those good times. Like you said, Chad, at the beginning, it was just easy. It's always easy. It always
Yeah.
will be. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my take.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna stop recording now so we can actually talk.
Yeah. Let's have another drink together at least.
Hang on.
Here's boys.
Breaking new ground, breaking new ground, breaking new ground, sip of breaking new ground, breaking new ground.
You have been listening to Down Home. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
Breaking new ground, sip of breaking new ground, breaking new ground, breaking new ground, yeah. On a high plateau, from the one down below to the future of the funk, getting lost.
The song Breaking new ground from The Breakdown.
Reaching all aspects, getting deep, no time to sleep. As you reach your next phase, laying it all on the line. New trails start to blaze, it's a fire inside. A brand new path, breaking down the sum to one. Feeling free, I just laugh with the joy of a beat boy, just kicking it live. A connection so strong, transcribed with the vibe like magic prescribed.